What's going on, guys? I am excited to talk to you in this video today because it's kind of a big one, and really it's honestly a whole shift, not only in the direction of the channel, but in my life. And so I'm excited to be able to share this with you guys. Okay, so about a month ago was my last full-time day with Beckett and Rob. And before you go thinking that there was any sort of problems or drama or anything else, that couldn't be furthest from the truth. I was there in their office yesterday doing a photo shoot with them for some upcoming stuff, and to be honest, I really miss the guys. I really miss the team. I cannot think or say anything more highly of the guys at Beckett and Rob, the product, or anything else. It is phenomenal, and I was with them for 4 years for very, very good reason. At the same time, what I was doing was focusing on that full time and focusing on this, on Masculine Style and my YouTube channel and all this other stuff part time. And I continued to see growth in this and found out that there were things about this that I enjoy more, and really what it comes down to is just the autonomy of being able to be my own boss, do my own thing, of being location independent, and what that means for my wife and our goals and our family and all these other variables. And so there was nothing bad about Beckett and Rob. There was just more with Masculine Style or with pursuing YouTube. And so as I was seeing this grow, I decided it was time to take this full time and see what I could do with all of my energy and all of my focus behind it. And so what you've seen over the last couple weeks is you've seen an increase in my production quality and all these other variables. That's because I'm no longer having to worry about managing other guys or a shop or anything else. And hopefully that just translates into better content, better stuff for you guys. Now, one thing that presents is a really fun and kind of interesting challenge. Up until a month ago, for more than 10 years of my life, I was wearing a shirt and a tie 6, if not 7 days out of the week. I served an LDS mission, you know, the guys with the name badges and that kind of stuff. And so 2 years straight of wearing shirts and ties and suits for that. Right when I got home, I ended up working for a credit union. I did that for 7 years, and part of the dress code there, part of the expectations there, was a shirt and a tie. And as my own style evolved, it eventually turned into sport coats and suits and other things that improved the way that I looked within that environment. And then from there, I went to work for Beckett and Rob, which was obviously suit and tie and dress shirt and a much more formal appearance for the 4 years that I was with them. And so it's been a long time, since 2003. So honestly, like 14 years that I have been wearing a suit and a tie, or a shirt and a tie at least, for more days than not. And now all of a sudden, I'm not in that position anymore. And what's really fun about that for me is it's presented a new challenge, because I have to start figuring out my casual game. My casual game has always been just kind of by the wayside. It's something that I haven't worried about, because I would get up in the morning, I would go work out, I would get dressed and go to work, and by the time I got home and got everything else done, it was basically time to throw on some PJs and go to bed. And so Saturdays were really my only time with casual wear, and so I didn't have to have a huge rotation of stuff. But now, because it's every day, I'm finding myself in a similar situation to a lot of you guys, where I have to start thinking deliberately and intentionally about what I want my style to look like. Now, you guys who have been with me for a while, you've watched some of my fit check videos, and what I'm going to do is continue on with that series as opposed to starting this as a new one. And what these fit check videos are going to be is basically how to change your style, how to transform your style. And I'm gonna walk you guys through what my own process is as I start figuring this stuff out on my own. And so this is by no means intended to be a huge and comprehensive video today, because this is gonna take some time. And as I get new gear and as I figure out more what the story is that I personally want to tell with my style, now that I'm not representing Beckett and Rob anymore, now that I'm just representing myself and Masculine Style, I'm gonna evolve and I'm gonna change, and I'm okay with that, and I want you guys to be okay with that. Obviously not just with me and what you see from me, but I want you guys to be okay with that with yourselves. To understand that your clothing evolves, and it should evolve as you grow and as you change and as you get better. So today's video is actually a sponsored video, and I was hesitant to start off that way, but really this is a product that I know a lot of you guys have seen before, and it was kind of the first major step in this transformation for me. And I can key you in on even kind of some of the thought process, because as I start getting more intentional with my casual style, the first thing that I start doing is I look to other influential guys, other guys who have style that I want to emulate. And one of the weirdest things that I have not had to worry about for years is wearing a belt. I just haven't had to wear belts that often. The way that my suits are cut and how often I'm in them, I don't need a belt. My stuff fits. I use side adjusters or braces. Belts have not been a priority, and so the reality is I've been wearing belts that I've had for a long time, and they're not that great. And so today's video is sponsored by Anson Belt. If you've heard of them, then you'll know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, these guys are a phenomenal company, and I'm gonna show you what it is about these belts that makes them so great. And really what's so interesting to me about them is, okay, I'll level with you guys. I've known about Anson for years. My friends who are influencers, guys like Aaron and Antonio, Ryan McGinn, all these other guys, I mean, guys who go to StyleCon have been talking about Anson for years. I've known the guys from Anson for years, and as much as they've approached me and tried to get me to do a collaboration with them, I haven't been interested. One, because I haven't worn a belt, and two, because my mindset has been, I mean, I'm kind of a classic guy. I know that I rag on like gentleman cosplay and that I can get on your guys' cases if you dress too traditional or too old school, but the reality is that I'm a simple guy. I like things traditional. I think that traditions have lasted as long as they have for a reason, and so I'm always a little bit hesitant with somebody who comes in with something innovative, because it's too easy to confuse innovation with novelty, and I'm not interested in novelty. I'm more than happy with innovation, but I'm not interested in novelty. These belts, they're actually innovative. They're not just novel. They're not just a novelty. So one of the big differences between these and other belts, and one of the ways that Anson tries to help you understand the value of these, is they talk about the fact that when you wear a regular belt, one that's got the tried and true buckle with the hook and the perforations and that kind of stuff, you've basically got 5 options as far as how it fits. But if you're a normal guy, your body fluctuates, not just like from season to season, but it can even fluctuate throughout the week. And those little deviations between one hole and the other may not be enough. And so a lot of times you're kind of stuck in this no man's land of it's too big or it's too small. Now, I personally never really experienced much of that, because it seems like anytime I do have fluctuation, it's drastic enough, and so I can go right from one hole all the way up to another one or down to another one or anything else. But one of the things that I've never heard Anson actually talk about that for me was the big benefit, because yes, they've tried to get me to do something for years. They're great guys, and I just haven't been interested. And finally, after realizing that I need to change, I need to start wearing belts because I'm wearing jeans and other stuff more, I just said, send me a couple. I'll try them out. If I like them, then I'll do a video on them. If I don't, then I won't like them, and no hard feelings in either direction. And so they sent them out. I've been wearing them for a month, and it's really kind of a weird eye-opening experience, because it addresses a problem that I didn't even know that I had. And that's what I love, and I think that's one of the biggest things about innovation versus novelty is, somebody's being innovative when they solve a problem you weren't even aware that you were experiencing. And for me, even though my weight day to day or season to season doesn't fluctuate a ton, one of my problems is that it seems like as I go throughout the day, my stuff doesn't fit the same as it does when I start out in the morning. Between exercise and eating and all the other things that your body does, things fit a little bit differently. And that's where I definitely found myself getting into problems, especially because I like to wear my stuff with a higher rise. And when you wear a higher rise, your natural waist is narrower than your hips, and so it's imperative that your stuff actually fits properly in order to stay there. If you're not getting stuff custom made, like I'm not wearing custom jeans, it's worth it to have a belt that actually helps hold that tighter circumference in place, rather than your pants just naturally defaulting down to your hips. And so one of the benefits that I've never heard anybody talk about with Anson is that as I go throughout my day and I realize that my stuff starts to slide down a little bit lower, or it starts to fit just a little bit differently throughout the day, all I have to do is cinch it up 1 or 2 more little micro notches, and then bam, my pants are right back where I want them, at my waist, draping properly, fitting well, looking presentable, looking respectable, doing the aesthetic things that I want my pants to do. And so, yes, there are these benefits of having these 30 different notches, and so you can go from major fluctuations on your weight, but even just being able to fine tune throughout your day, for me, that's where the value of these comes in. That's where the big benefit of this over something else. Now, the other thing that's a benefit to these belts is that if you wear them, maybe you like some variety. I know that I'm getting more and more into needing variety as I'm looking at my casual game improving. Before, I literally just wore like one brown leather belt and one brown braided belt, and I was never pumped on them, but they were just good enough. But as I'm looking to improve that side of my game, I want a little bit more. I still want to focus on versatility, and so it's finding the right balance. And so one of the things that Anson does really well is they give you a package deal. You can get 2 buckles and 3 actual belts, or 3 buckles and 2 belts for 99 bucks. And what that did for me was open up a huge door of variety and versatility. So I ended up going with a regular brown leather, a kind of tan or khaki canvas, and then a green canvas. And then I have a brushed gold buckle, and then a gunmetal black or gunmetal gray buckle as well. And the versatility that comes with all of these is one of the biggest advantages to it, because it allows me to add a little bit of variety to dress my outfit up or dress it down as I go through what I'm trying to figure out I want my style to be. And again, it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be consistent. There are times when it's appropriate that I dress down, there are times when it's appropriate that I dress up, and I like that I have the versatility of something that's going to be able to benefit me on that. So I know that you guys have probably heard of this brand before, especially because I know the vast majority of you guys are watching other influencers. If you haven't taken the time to actually go try out Anson, if you were on the fence like I was, or you're even a little bit hesitant or skeptical, just thinking that it's novel and why do we need to reinvent the belt, try them out. Seriously, you may be as pleasantly surprised as I was, and I'm not going to say that I'm never going to wear another belt again, but I will absolutely continue to wear these as frequently as I have, which is basically every day. It's only intentionally that I choose something else. Now Anson has become my default on my belt, and I intentionally go another direction as opposed to it being the other way around. I'm excited to be able to talk about all this with you guys. You've noticed that I've been wearing more polo shirts in my videos. I'm going to talk to you guys about those. I've got other things that I'm trying to figure out, and I don't necessarily have a schedule as far as frequency. I also don't want every single one of these videos to be a sponsored video. There are things that I'm going out and buying myself. In fact, I just picked up a pair of Adidas Stan Smiths. Those things are sick, and I love what they've done for my casual game. I'll do a whole video on those. But as I go through this evolution of improving my own casual style and changing the story that my style is telling because my life has changed, I want to share this with you guys, and not just share the actual items, but share the thought process with you so you can see what I do, not only for myself, but give you guys a clue as to what I do with my individual clients and my group classes to help guys be able to have the right approach, to understand the right strategies and the right principles so that they can take those and apply them to everything that they're doing, rather than just saying, you need to buy an Anson belt, you need to buy Stan Smiths, you need to buy blah, blah, blah. Yes, I'm happy to make recommendations for companies that I want to get behind and support, but what's ultimately much more important for me is that I help you guys understand the mindset of dressing appropriately, dressing intentionally, and what I've been able to develop as far as the right approach to all of that. So I'm really curious to hear your thoughts below. Not only that, but I'm gonna put myself out there a little bit, and based on what you guys, especially you longtime guys who've been with me for a while, I wanna know what you think would be a good addition to my wardrobe, especially now that I'm in this very kind of business casual as opposed to strict suiting world. What do you think I should try out? I know it's my job as a guy who creates content to be able to give you recommendations, but I want to flip that relationship on its head a little bit. I want you guys to tell me brands or products or items or aesthetics or anything else that you recommend that I give a try, and maybe we'll try it out and see where we go from there. Either way, I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I will catch you on the next one.